Hey guys, I'm Dennis. Welcome to my channel, Guy with a Plant. In today's episode, I'm finally going to show you my updated houseplant collection. Yes, I've moved to this new place almost 3 months back. I've been really busy, but I've been wanting to make this video because I've got a lot of houseplant chores to do right after this, propagations and rehabbing of plants. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, going to give you a quick run through of this apartment. This is the temporary accommodation because I've bought a new place and that will not be ready until February or March next year. Yeah, this is the dining table where I do most of my recordings. And this is an open kitchen concept, really functional. Everything is here. And that's my cubbyhole full of tidbits. Yeah, fridge, and yep, this is the bathroom. This is the bedroom, which I'm not going to show you. The living room, really tiny. It is about less than half the size of my previous condo. And finally, the pied de resistance, my balcony, where all my green babies are. Okay, and with that, let's look at some plants finally. Okay, all the plants are in the balcony. So I've got no plants inside the house at all. So a quick look. These are all my plants. So to give you some context, this is a west-facing balcony. So here, locally, west facing means you have a very hot afternoon sun. As you can see, it's mainly not sheltered in any way. So I am fortunate to have roller blinds. The landlord has installed this, which I can actually lower them in the afternoon when it gets really too hot. Let's take a look at the pool, which is amazing. Right, I'll leave this space empty for my laundry. To capitalize on this fantastic sun, I will dry my laundry here. And yeah, check out this really cute flamingo floor mat. So when I moved here, I gave away or sold about 30 to 40% of my plants. I want to keep this current collection to be really curated. But I think it's still not lean enough. So the next time I move, I am going to get rid of even more plants. Okay, where shall I start? Maybe I'll start from left to right. But the main plant display is this plant shelf, which I brought over from my previous apartment. If you can recall from my previous plant tour. And I've used this outdoor dining chairs as well as this table, this foldable table, as plant display, and also this coffee table, which I have no use for, so I might as well just use them. Okay, before I start, let's take a look at the humidity. Now it's 11 AM and it's only at 42%, and the temperature is 27.7 degrees Celsius. Usually it gets even hotter in the afternoon, up to 32 degrees Celsius, and the humidity will definitely dip below 40%. But sometimes on a rainy morning, the humidity could be as high as 60 or 65. So the humidity really fluctuates a lot. I usually have this spray standing by with water and some liquid fertilizer, and I'll mist down the plants almost every day. Okay, let's start with the plants on this chair. This is actually cuttings of Syngonium milk confetti. I've grown this from mere wet sticks. The parent plant is here, which I will show you later. But look at this, these are so adorable. They were totally leafless several months back, but of course it took a while to grow into this, and they are only in sphagnum moss. So, but I have to ensure that they are kept really moist. Okay, next is this Syndapsus. This is a Syndapsus Silver Hero. Really slow growing. Let me just bring this out. Okay, I grew this from a single leaf cutting, but it took me almost 1 year to get to this size. Of course, to be honest, I've neglected this sometimes. I let it dry out too much. It's in this terracotta pot with well-draining potting medium, so I should water this more frequently. Look, there's a new leaf here. So yeah, I think if I water this more frequently, it should grow better for me. Look at the silvery leaves. Really nice. Maybe I should give it a moss pole for it to climb up to give me bigger leaves. Okay, the next plants are Syndapsus as well. This is the Syndapsus Jade Satin. This is the variegated one. Look at the variegation. This is the original leaf. I also got this as a single leaf cutting, and I think it gave me this second leaf, which I think is a little bit burnt. And the third leaf is not really variegated, and I'm a bit concerned because the fourth leaf is totally not variegated. Yeah, and there's a new leaf that's unfurling. I'm not sure whether is there any variegation. Yeah, let's see. I also need to probably give this a pull. Yeah, this is a very nice Syndapsus. Okay, the next one is also a jade satin, a variegated jade satin, Syndapsus, but this has half moon variegation. Look at this, so beautiful. I think these are the two original leaves. As you can see, the variegation is much whiter compared to the new leaf. It comes out yellow, but look at the newer leaves. They are totally not variegated, so I'm concerned. Actually still sitting in moss. Yep. Yeah, I bought this off Instagram. So the seller just labeled according to my Instagram handle. But there is no variegation on the new stem, so maybe I should really consider cutting this off. Yeah, as I mentioned, I've got a lot of plants that I need to propagate. Okay, the next one sitting on the chair is this Epiprinium pinnatum Marble King. This one is different from the Marble Queen. As it matures, you'll get fenestrations like this. And I got it as a really small cutting that's sitting in this very porous potting mix, and it started throwing out this vine and I gave it some moss for it to propagate, and I think it has rooted itself very well. Oh, hello. Okay, distracted. So it has rooted really well and is starting to trail. And this is the latest leaf. I definitely need to cut this off and start to propagate it. It grows really fast and it's really beautiful. Okay, and lastly there is this cutting of Hoya Memoria here, which I'm experimenting rooting it in vermiculite. Yeah, I can see there are already some roots forming, so it's rooting really nicely. Okay, let's move on to the plants on the coffee table. This is the parent plant of the Syngonium milk confetti. Look at the color and the variegation. It's really beautiful, but it's really prone to mini bug, as you can see. When I first got it, they were actually really small. The leaves were about 1/3 of this size, and they size up really quite nicely. To be honest, I neglected them for a while. I put it under hot direct sun, and yeah, a lot of the leaves actually got burnt. But it threw out a really long runner, and I propagated the runner with some leaves. So that was some of the stem cuttings, as well as I think there is another cutting somewhere. Yeah, over there, which I shall show you later. It's under water propagation. Yeah, this has grown really nicely. Let me bring this out to take a look. Look at the colors. And I have some caladiums here. If you recall from my previous video that I propagated them from bulbs, I only brought over 2 caladiums. I think I sowed the other 2. This one is looking really unhappy. I don't know why it's so droopy. It's always needing a drink, so I have to water them every day. The medium is still very wet, but look at them. They are just really droopy. This is called the Fantasy. Anyway, they are all hybrids. So this is called the Fantasy. And this is called the Raspberry Moon with this beautiful pink freckles. But yeah, to be honest, I am quite over them. So I will not bring them over to my new place. Yeah, I think they are just not my cup of tea anymore. If you like and if you're from Singapore, just message me. I can pass these 2 to you. Let me know. Okay, this is one caladium that I grown from a dormant bulb that was sitting in the dark for 4 months before I took it out and repotted it. And this is really beautiful. Look at the leaf. This is, I believe, Thai Beauty. Caladium Thai Beauty. Yeah, but whenever a new leaf comes out, the old one will just turn yellow. So I can't really keep this as a bushy plant. Next is this ficus. This is a ficus chevriniana. It's still pretty much a baby one, but look at the variegation, which I really love. Very speckled kind of variegation. And it has a pink mid-rib, so really nice. I think even the stems are slightly pink, the new stems. Yep. So I really like this ficus. Bought it as a baby, still is a baby. I think it has grown about another 40%. It was much smaller when I got it. The other plant here is a plant that I'm really obsessing with right now. This is an aglaonema. Okay, let me bring this up. This is an aglaonema hybrid. This is a hybrid between a rotundum and as well as the popular pictum tricolor. So you can see there are camouflage patterns on the leaf. That is from the pictum tricolor, and the pink venation is from the rotundum. So it has the best of both worlds. Really nice. And there's a new leaf coming out. I'm so excited. Okay, next, I bought this plant because of its interesting flower, but till now it hasn't bloomed at all. It was a very small cutting when I bought it, and it has grown a lot. But unfortunately, I lost most of the plants one day because of a heavy rain, and it got overly soggy. So they are really sensitive to water. This is the lifesaver plant. What's the scientific name? Let me think. Okay, I'll just put it on the screen. Yeah, no flowers yet, but the flower is really interesting. It looks like a lifesaver, so hence the name. Really cute. So I'm hopeful I can get it to bloom one day. Okay, next to the coffee table on the floor is this another succulent plant. This is the Obia helipeticola. And like the Hernia zebrina, it doesn't like to be wet. So don't overwater this. And this is also not really doing well. It was flowering regularly in my previous apartment, but not now. And in fact, it's grown really leggy. So I think it's time to actually chop it up and propagate this. Okay, and next to it is this very beautiful ficus. Look at the pink veins. This is Ficus Petalaris. Yeah, okay, that's right. It has this very interesting cordex-like base, so I thought it doesn't really need to be watered a lot, but I'm wrong. I was wrong. It needs regular watering, so I make sure I don't underwater this. Beautiful ficus, and next to this is another ficus, one of my very first plants. This is a beautiful ficus, Elastica tineke. Look at the variegation, and the newest leaves are really quite big compared to the previous ones. At one time it was outside the balcony and got really badly burned. I lost a lot of the leaves, but it is really resilient. The new growth will really come out really hot pink, so that's really nice. And I think there is a new growth at the base of this plant as well. Can you see? Really small. These are the parts where I've lost all the leaves. Okay, next to this is the Philodendron Brandtianum. Look at this very long leafless vine climbing up. Yeah, over here. I love the Brandtianum, but somehow they are not really easy in my experience. I had them when the leaves were really big, and the new leaves that came out are really small. And I think this location is way too bright for it, or way too hot for it, so the leaves at the bottom keep dropping off, turning yellow and dropping off, so I got to move this somewhere. This is one of the plants that I got to propagate, but yeah, but it's still growing. As you can see, there's a new leaf. Yes, I got to add this to my propagation list. Okay, let's move on to the plant shelf. Okay, right off the bat, I'm going to talk about this Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. I had two, but I sold one, and this has a very long vine, a single vine that goes all the way down. Look at this. But I'm going to quickly get it out of the way to propagate this immediately, because check this out. It has a stem that is totally rotten off. To be honest, I've seen this 2 months back when I moved here, but I have not done anything to it. And there is a new growth, another vine that sprouted out. So this is really healthy looking. So what I'm going to do is to cut this off and propagate this super long vine. Yeah, look, there's so many yellow leaves, so that means I cannot wait any longer. It's very entangled with other plants, so I got to be really careful. Okay, it's entangled, so I'm going to put my camera down. This is a Piper plant. This is Piper sylvaticum. When I moved here, I lost all my original leaves, but luckily it gave out new vines. So as you can see, I got one vine here, and this is another vine. So, okay, this was the original vine that grew, trailed down all the way. The leaves are really small. The original leaves are way much bigger, and this goes all the way down without any leaves. Yeah, there are some here. Going to snip this off and do some wet sticks propagation. Next to this is a philodendron. This is Philodendron ploumanii. Okay, let me just bring this out. Okay, this is the latest leaf, still really tender. I think I've lost all the original leaves. These are the newer ones. Very prone to spider mites, so you see some discoloration on the leaves. Oh look, there's a new growth. Yeah, it's looking dry already. This is a crawling philodendron, so it doesn't like to dry out, pretty much like the gloriosum. But look at the ridges on the leaves, really beautiful. Okay, I'm going to reach out to the plant behind. Another philodendron. This is a philodendron Florida Ghost. Oh, look at the shape of this leaf. I think this is the biggest one. And it's always giving out a new leaf. I let this dry out way too much. The stem is really dry. And I think it's getting too much light. The leaf is looking a bit chlorotic. Next to the Plowmanii is this alocasia. This is an alocasia silver bone. No, this is an alocasia golden bone. As you can see from the neon green midrib, which gets more pronounced once this plant is mature. This is still pretty juvenile. I think the leaves can get much bigger. This alocasia is not really common. I found it online and I just know I have to get it. But like most alocasia, it is really prone to spider mites. Look at this. This is a telltale sign of spider mites attack. And this are water stains. I need to wipe the leaves. But look at the back of the alocasia. Really nice. Nice shade of burgundy, especially when they are very young, newly unfurled. One of my favorite alocasias. Okay, I don't have many alocasias. I think I only have 3, but this is definitely my favorite. Okay, this is the other alocasia, which I really like as well. Okay, this is the alocasia dragon scale. It's a jewel alocasia. And look at this. This is the newest leaf and also the biggest leaf. And I love how dark the color is. These are the older leaves. Okay, pardon the water stains. Still pretty dark, but the size is not as big as this. Every time there's a new leaf, the older one will start to die off. So, yep, I think maximum it can only hold 4 leaves. I got this as a 2-leaf baby. The leaves were really small. I don't know if I have a photo of that. I can put that up. Yeah, it's not bushy or anything because I don't think you can get a bushy alocasia dragon scale unless you have a few plants. You pot up a few plants together. So, but I'm really happy with this leaf. Look at this. Okay, the next plant is a beauty. This is a philodendron Florida beauty, and I'm really happy with the genes of this plant. Look at the variegation, and it gave me 2 half moon leaves. This one as well as this one, which is still yellow because it just unfurled not too long, so it's more yellow compared to the older one, and it's giving me another new leaf. Okay, let me put this down and take a closer look. Yeah, I mean, this plant has really good genes. Most of the leaves are beautifully variegated. Look at this one. Okay, except for this one, which is totally green. But the other leaves are really beautiful. And I think this one, the oldest leaf, is going to turn yellow and die off. It's looking a bit sad. So no worries, I think that's the older leaf. And so stupid of me, I actually broke off one of the leaves when it was unfurling. It could have been a beautiful leaf. I'll put a photo if I can find. So this is my Florida beauty, philodendron Florida beauty. I really like this one. Next to this is a Scindapsus. This is the Scindapsus silver cloud, and definitely one of my favorite Scindapsus. Look at the patterns on the leaves. They look like some watercolor painting. Okay, this is yellowing off because this is the original leaf. I got this as a single leaf as well. This is big, but it lasted almost 1 year, and it has given me a lot of other leaves, and it has started trailing down. No leaves. Oh, okay, there are some leaves here over here, but it's yeah, going all the way down, and all the way up to this ficus elastica. So yep, it's time to propagate this as well. So this is the Syndapsus silver cloud. To the next level down, I have some pothos here. This is my very beautiful Epiprinium aureum marble queen, which I'm really proud of, because I've grown this from a single leaf, no, maybe 2 leaves cutting. The original plant died off due to dehydration. Yes, I'm a chronic underwaterer, and the plant was in a terracotta pot, so it didn't do well. But luckily I managed to get 2 leaf cuttings from that plant, and look at this, it has become this beautiful plant. Maybe I should bring this out to admire, but I think a lot of things are entangled with one another, so I think I better not move this. But just to show you how beautiful the variegations are, this creamy white marbly variegation. And next to it is this another pothos. This is the pothos enjoy, which has grown a lot as well. Check out the variegation, and it's trailing down also all the way here. I think this needs some water. I've propagated this many times, given away, so yeah, it's time to cut this as well. Next to it is this Hoya. This is a Hoya Memorial, my very first Hoya. It came to me as I think two vines, really short vines about this length, and it has grown all the way down. Yep, here. But it has never flowered for me, which I'm really sad. But I do like Hoyas for its foliage, and this is a little bit splashy, I think. Doing really well for me. I just hope it can flower, right? Next to it is another Hoya. This is the Hoya Croliana super silver, not the green form, but the silvery splashy one. Really nice. It flowered once. The peduncle is still here, and I think it's going to flower again. But as you can see, the leaves are getting greener and greener as the new leaves come out. So I don't know, it's reverting to a green Croliana. It's time to cut off as well. I've propagated some, yeah, but I think it's time to cut off the green ones. Really nice. And next to this Croliana is an anthurium. This is the Anthurium vitarifolium. One plant that I'm really proud of as well, because I've grown this from mere seedlings, which are really small, and look at the length of the leaves now. This is the newest leaf, and I think the longest leaf. It's still not hardened yet, so really soft, as you can see. As it grows, as it matures, the leaf will become a bit stiff, like this. And the older leaves are smaller. And I think it needs to be watered more regularly, because I think the older leaves are really dried up and rough. Or at least it needs more humidity. So I've actually top dress it with a lot of sphagnum moss, and it's in this very well draining aeroid mix, so I get to water this more frequently, which I like, and I think it appreciates it. Thank you. Okay, and behind this is a very sad looking philodendron splendid. Okay, let me move this. Okay, I bought this as a 2-leaf cutting, and all the leaves were gone. These are the new leaves, but the new leaves are really small, but I think I got to be really patient. It's not getting a lot of light behind. I don't think it really likes very bright light. The leaves will just turn a shade of yellow. So I think probably this location is good, but I just wish that it can give me bigger leaves. And behind are all water propagation. I have this Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, some variegated Epipremnum pinnatum, and I think there's a Brazil somewhere, Philodendron Brazil. Yeah, here. They've been watered for a long time. These are some water propagation as well. Oh yes, and there is this cutting of Syngonium milk confetti. It should have rooted by now. And next to the water propagation is this Hoya. This is Hoya archbodiana, which is really not doing well. This is the original plant. I had a lot of die-offs. Oh, this is a one big leaf, and it's looking really dry. Okay, this is one Hoya that really likes to be watered more regularly compared to others. I know the rest needs to dry out before you water them. I got another cutting here, which is doing slightly better. These are the new leaves, which will come out burgundy, and then they will turn green. So this was a one leaf cutting for a very long time, and then it started giving me this vine. No flowers yet, no flowers. Oh, this is a big one. This is a big leaf. I bought this Hoya for its flower, so I know the flowers are really big and interesting, so please flower soon. Okay, let's move to this shelf. I have this Hoya here. It used to be called a macrophylla, but I think now it's reclassified as latifolia. I'm not sure. This is the elbow marginata, so the variegation is actually on the outer edges of the leaf. I used to have a pot of gold, but that just died off. That one, the variegation is within the center of the leaves. And yeah, this is struggling for me as well. Look at this new leaf. And this is the latest leaf. Very nice. Okay, I really struggled with this Hoya. It used to be a much fuller pot, but I think most of the older leaves have died off, and the newer ones are more stable. Look at this. This is an older leaf, so I think this is going to die off as well. Okay, I got one that is already dying off. Look at this. Next is this pot of Philodendron silver sword. I bought it as a silver matter. The seller told me it was from Japan, so I'm not sure whether is it the same as a silver sword, but to me it looks like a silver sword. Yeah, I struggled with this as well because the leaves keep turning yellow, either from too much light or not enough water. I realized that this philodendron doesn't like to dry out. Yeah, so most of the bigger leaves actually died off. In place, I have all these really cute small baby leaves that are doing well, so I just got to be on top of watering, and this is definitely one of the plants that I need to propagate. Actually, I do like the very big mature form, and this is the Hoya archbodiana cutting, and my Hoya Croliana has grown all the way down. This is a very sad looking pot of Anthurium doriaki silver. Of course, I've lost all the original leaves, and these are all the baby leaves which have sprouted, and it has been looking like this for a long time. I'm not sure what to do with this. Look at this. It's sitting in this sphagnum moss and some aroid mix, very well draining, so I keep this really moist. And behind this is this Monstera adansonii. I got this from stem cuttings. Hasn't done anything much for me. And next to it I have some Scindapsus pictus exotica. These are in water propagation. Refer to my previous video. I had a video on the propagation of this Scindapsus. And here we have a Paleona repens plant that is currently blooming. Look at this. Yeah, it was like smoking a few days back when it was releasing its pollen. And I've never seen a flower on this plant before, so this is the first time. And this is not even the original plant. This is a cutting from the parent plant. I sow away that original plant. I'll put a photo here. It had grown so long, trailing all the way down, and it likes to be moist. Don't let it dry out. Okay, another level down, I have this aloe. This is a Christmas Carol aloe, but somebody corrected me and said it's not Christmas Carol. I'm not sure what. Look at the intense color. When I first bought it, it was really small and it doesn't have all these intense orange trimmings. It was quite green, and then it grew another pop here. Let me bring this out. Yeah, can you see there's another pop next to it, which I can actually separate this and yeah, give it its own pot. This is a beautiful aloe. Don't overwater this. Give it very bright light. It doesn't mind direct sun. In fact, this is the only plant I have that really appreciates direct sunlight. And it flowers very frequently as well. I'll put a photo up here. Yeah, but the flower is nothing to shout about. So usually I'll just cut it off once it blooms. Behind the aloe is this Hoya. This is a Hoya tubercalis splash. In fact, these are cuttings. I can see there's a new growth. Yep, coming out. That's really nice. I propagated from the original plant because the parent plant wasn't doing very well. It keeps drying out. Yeah, so I'm happy that, oh, there's another new growth point here. I've given this terracotta pot as well as some mixed medium, so it's not exactly very drying. A bit of organic potting medium. So yeah, but got to make sure I don't overwater this. And next to this is a very sad looking Scindapsus jade satin. I got this as a 2-leaf cutting and it grew really well, trailing all the way, so I have to yeah, twirl the the stems in the medium, the potting medium, but it's actually growing out of the pot, as you can see, and I think it's trying to attach itself to the wall here. So yep, another plant that I need to propagate. This is really not looking good, but I think this is the original leaf, so yeah, it might go soon. Next to this is my beautiful silvery, oh no, not you, my beautiful silvery Apiprinum pinnatum. Cebu blue. This is a pot of propagation. I got 2 pots. I've sold the other one because I don't want any duplicate plants here. It's growing really nicely, and that one is running away. I think it's trying to find the wall to attach itself to. So these are very beautiful silvery blue plants. The blue is not so pronounced now. It doesn't really need too much light. I can't wait for it to be more mature. I need to get it up a pole so that it gives me those really nice fenestrated leaves. And next to this is a plant which I think I may want to throw away. This is a fern. I'll put the name up here. In fact, it's a very interesting fern with all these wavy edges. But I burn it, as you can see, on a super hot day. But there are new leaves coming out. So maybe I should try to rehab this. But look at this. I'm not sure what this is. Is it like some kind of mold? I'll think about it, whether to rehab this or to go into the bin. And here is a very sad looking cutting of the Dieffenbachia reflector. This was a really small one, not doing anything. And there's one at the back as well. This one. Finally, to the last level of this shelf. Yeah, let me bring this out. I have this syngonium here. Okay, I can't bring this up because I think one of the roots has attached itself to the peace lily behind. This is a pot of syngonium batik. Look at this. I think it's mini bugs. But it's looking super yellow because I think it gets too much sun. And this Syngonium Three Kings is perpetually very, very small. Doesn't give me big leaves. And next to this is this Syngonium Pink Splash, which was given to me by a friend, so I just need to bring this over. Let's take this out. I think this is the latest leaf, so it has an intense pink variegation, but as the leaves mature, the color will be a little bit more mellow. And these are the small little leaves that have sprouted out. Not looking its best. Sorry. Okay, and at the back, which I'm not going to bring out, is this peace lily. It has reverted to many all green leaves. This is supposed to be a domino peace lily with its nice variegation, but now all the new leaves are pretty much green. There's a new growth here. Yeah, but other than that, no more variegation. Even though it gets a lot of light in this location, I don't know why it's not getting the variegation. And this is an Epiprinium apicimum, which is on the struggle bus for the longest time. Really ugly. Look at this. No leaves. This vine is all the way here, and the leaves are at the tip of it. Yep, definitely one of the plants I need to propagate. See what I can do. It has a lot of nodes and aerial roots though, so I think I can still save this. And next is this very big Philodendron gloriosum. It has given me a really tiny baby leaf here. But look at the main branch. I'll show you the leaves. The leaves are big. I've got 3 leaves currently, and I think there's a new one that is coming out. Yep, but they are super prone to spider mites. So I had the leaves in very nice condition for a long time, and I kind of neglected it, and yeah, now the spider mites are having a party. Ugh. Okay, the last plant on the bottom level is this pot of Piper. This is Piper crocatum, and look at the way it grows up the shelf. Yeah, and right to the top of this shelf, I really need to propagate this vine, because if you don't let it climb, the leaves will start to get smaller and smaller, so that's not good. Okay, just a backstory of this piper. When I first got the original plant delivered to me from Indonesia, one of the leaves actually dropped off, and I propagated that single leaf, and this whole plant is what grew out from that single leaf. So this is truly amazing. That's why this is a plant that I'm really proud of. Sadly, the original plant died off from over fertilization, so I got to take care not to do the same to this as well. So this is my plant shelf. Okay, and on this wooden table, I have right at the back this cutting of a different Dieffenbachia reflector. I just chop off the top cutting, which is here, and I'm propagating this in water, and I'm just going to leave this. This happened only a few days back, so I'm hoping new growth will sprout from this stem cutting. And at the back is this original pot of this is the parent plant of the Scindapsus pictus exotica. Look at the beautiful leaves. It was much fuller. I just propagated this not too long, maybe about 2 weeks ago. I got this plant when it was really small. I think it only had maybe 5 leaves. And here I have this blue oil fern, which sadly has lost all its original blue leaves. But these are the newer leaves, which are not as blue, but you can see a tinge of it as it starts to mature. But the newer leaves are greener. Yeah, but certain angle you can see there's a tinge of blue. So this is a very interesting fern. Doesn't like to dry out. So I top dress this with moss. Give it good humidity, and it doesn't need very bright light, so that's why it's at the back. And next to this is a pot of Monstera certipicana. Let me show you where it came from. Here, and goes back here to this pot. Can you see this vine? So this is leafless all the way till here. Climbs up the pot and back here. And this is the newest leaf. I got this at a very good deal. It was only $2. It was like a 3-leaf cutting, looking really sad at the moving out sale. So I'm going to propagate this as well. Look at the veins, really intense. Really like this. And next to it is these are yellowing. Okay, it's in water propagation, and these are the cuttings of that Scindapsus pictus exotica. So these leaves are not really liking it, but I'm confident they are rooted. It's been 2 weeks. Let me take a look. Oh yeah, there are some roots, very juicy roots. Yep, so they have some roots already, except the yellow one. And next to this is another Philodendron gloriosum. This is the dark form or the zebra, I'm not sure, but I got it as a dark form. Look at the original leaves. They are attacked by spider mites, but they are still hanging on to their dear lives. But I can see it's already yellowing, so they're going to be gone soon. But the newer leaves are looking quite nice. I just got to make sure I win the battle with the spider mites. And I've got some really small leaves here, and there's a new leaf at the back. And now let's talk about the elephant in the room. This is my Monstera Thai constellation, and this is the latest leaf. Look how big this is. It's about 50 or 60 cm. So this is the second newest leaf, and it has this it had this very beautiful sectoral variegation, and it was pristine for almost 2 full months before it started turning brown, which sometimes is inevitable. Yep, I have a few other leaves. I think this is turning yellow. I'm not sure. It looking a bit yellowy. Definitely needs a drink. I think it's a bit dehydrated. And this was burned by the sun. And look at this. There's a new growth that is... Oh, is that rot? Oh, no. It's just on the sheath, not on the stem. For a moment, I thought the stem has rotten off. Okay, there's a new growth here, so I'm excited. It as a pretty decent sized plant, but definitely nowhere near this size. This is really quite big. I am not sure how I'm going to move this to my new place. And I'm quite terrified of propagating it, even though I know it's time. I heard that the cuttings of the Thai constellation usually rots in water. So yeah, but look at this. I need to do something, right? On the floor here, I have my favorite philodendron. This is the philodendron majestic. This is the newest leaf, also the biggest. But I'm not sure why there is a hole here. Yeah, of course I've lost the original leaves. These are new leaves, brand new leaves that grew under my conditions. I've given it a pour, which I think it likes. The majestic is a hybrid between the melanochrysum and the verrucosum. Look at these silvery patterns on the leaf. Really love it. And next to it is this philodendron esmeraldens. Really like the shape of the leaves. Very big and long. And it has this very neon midrib as well. But the older leaves are dying off. I'm a bit concerned of root rot. Yep, there's a dead leaf here. And this one is also dying. So I am not sure what's happening. This is the latest leaf that unfurled. It has some mechanical damage. So yeah, I'm just going to monitor this. If I get another yellow leaf, I'm going to unpot this and see if there's any issues with the roots. Next to this is another philodendron, which I really like. Yeah, I love all philodendrons. This is the philodendron atapapontiae. I got it as I think maybe 4 or 5 leaves plant, and yeah, then it started giving me bigger and bigger leaves. Yeah, I think these are new leaf. This is a new leaf, and this is the newest leaf, and it is so big compared to the rest. Yeah, I think this was the second newest leaf, which is already quite big compared to the older ones. But look at the most recent one. It's still really soft, so not hardened yet. But wow. So I need to propagate this and give the cutting a pull for it to climb, and I believe it will give me even much bigger leaf. This is not the biggest it can get. Yeah, the new growth point is really red. And check out the back of the leaves as well. Yeah, very intense. Next, I have a Dieffenbachia. This is a Dieffenbachia berguensis, also known as the Big Ben. This is a variegated form. This is the latest leaf. Yep, it has a hole on it because it got poked by the Dracaena behind. Look at the pointed leaves. Yeah, as it was unfurling. And the older leaf is dying off. Maybe I let it dry out way too much. Look at the variegation on this. Really nice. And the variegation on the new leaf is still very green, but you'll turn into a lighter shade of yellow like this. So, yep. I just repotted this to a much bigger pot because it was struggling in a small terracotta pot which it didn't like. And look, there's a new growth. Yay! This is another alocasia. This is alocasia macrorhiza with its beautiful elbow variegation. And this is the latest leaf that came out. Really beautiful. And I have a new leaf that's unfurling. I think this one has less variegation. With all alocasia, every time there's a new leaf, I think the older one will just start to die off. This is still sitting in this very soil, almost clay-like potting medium, which I'm going to change out really soon. So add on to my list of plant chores. And finally, the last one, some of the plants are sitting on this chair. I have some more cuttings of this Synthepsis Pictus exotica. I potted this directly into the potting medium. I don't know, it doesn't look very happy. It's all curled up and everything. So I'm not sure whether I'm doing the right thing. But it had a massive root system, so I thought it should survive directly in this potting medium. And these are in sphagnum moss. This leaf is yellowing. And the sphagnum moss is kept moist as well. There's a new growth here. So I think this should be okay. And these are in vermiculite, which I have success propagating this which I had success propagating the Cebu blue, so I'm not sure whether it works for this, but this leaf is dying. Okay, I'll remove this later. Next to this is Philodendron Burley Marks Fantasy. It was on my wish list for a long time. I really like the way it grows. I like the stiffness of the leaf as it climbs up the pole. This is the newest leaf, still looking very light. Second newest leaf. So I need to give this a moss pole for sure. Maybe just a small one. And this plant is a philodendron. Yeah, no surprise. Another philodendron. This is my philodendron maximum. I got this as a single leaf cutting. So this is the original leaf, which I can see is already going to die off. It's turning yellow. But since then, it has given me the new branch. Leaves are really, really nice. And after I've given it a moss pole, the latest leaf is getting quite big as well. This is the most recent leaf. I like this maximum. Okay, let me show you this. See, there's a root. Yeah, that has grown into the moss pole. Okay, this is quite dry. I need to water this. And behind, under the table, I have this reverted Philodendron Burley Marks. Supposed to be variegated. I think I still got some variegated leaves there. Here, but mostly green. This needs to be rehabbed, needs to be propagated. And here I have this propagation box. Hoyas, I think Memorial and Pubercalyx cuttings. And also some stem cuttings of the Synthepsis Pictus exotica. Oh, I missed out this. This is a Philodendron Soderoy, which I'm not happy. The leaves are really, really small. And look at this leaf. It looks kind of diseased. Almost forgot. This is my Wilfine, which I had for a long time. This is the original leaf when I bought it, and I think it's going to expire soon. But it has given me a lot of new plants. Look at this, and there's one breaking out from the pot. And I have already sold another cutting. I think maybe about 3 or 4 leaves. Yeah, I'm going to remove this soon once this turns more yellow. Okay, and finally this is the last plant in my collection. And just in time, because it's starting to rain, so just in time to end this video. All right, this is another philodendron. Surprise, surprise. This is a beautiful one. One of my favorite philodendrons. I say that of all my plants, but yeah, this truly is. Look at this new leaf. Look at the beautiful creamy variegation. This is a philodendron Jose Buono. So this was sold to me as a top cutting, and as you can see, there's already a new growth coming out. So I would say the genes of this plant is really good. It has mostly half moon leaves. So these are actually burnt from direct sun, but I've moved it to a shaded area. So that's the thing about variegated plants, they need light that is bright enough for them to retain the variegation, but yet no direct or harsh sun. So got to keep a balance. Okay, this is the only leaf without that nice variegation, but it still has that very nice speckly bits of variegation on the leaf. But overall, I must say it's a really beautiful plant. With very good genes, so I hope to propagate this really soon. Okay, so that's the last of my plants. I'm so glad I managed to finally get this house plant update video out. I've been wanting to do this for the longest time, so that I can get on to quickly propagate my plants which are long overdue. Yeah, like this Apropinium and the Syndapsus. So thank you for watching this episode. If you have any questions, do put it in the comments or drop me a DM in my Instagram, Guy with a Plant. Yeah, so if you like contents like that, I hope you can subscribe to my channel and also to hit the notification bell. Meanwhile, take care, be safe, and remember to show your plants some love.